Look, I think that there are a lot of Trump voters, 73 million Trump voters, and they feel, as the president does, that there was something amiss with the vote counting. And so, of course, the Trump campaign has these multiple lawsuits going on in multiple swing states to try and challenge various, counting irregularities, election fraud. They have provided evidence of election fraud. I mean, dead people voting and, scrutineers being banned, the ability to look at the vote counting as they're promised under the law. But whether or not it's enough to actually surmount that quite, the narrow but significant margin that Joe Biden has in those states, I mean, it seems pretty impossible. But look, Donald Trump is telling people that he is confident that he will get the numbers to get to the magic 270 number, even though the media has called the election for Joe Biden with 304 electoral college votes. All of this will keep on going, and I think the protests and the rallies from the MAGA people will keep going until the hard deadline, which is December 14, which is when the electoral college electors meet to vote on who is going to be the president. So I think it'll end then. But the most important thing, I think, from the point of view of the country and for the Republicans is this Georgia double Senate runoff race on January 5, and that will determine who controls the Senate and whether or not the Democrats can get through their really radical plans like packing the Supreme Court and creating 2 new states, the Green New Deal, all of that, which will have an impact on Australia as well.
That will be fascinating, and sort of how, I suppose, as well, that campaign's run, the involvement of Donald Trump, how the Democrats approach it. I do want to just touch, though, again on those legal challenges. We know the importance of election results and people believing they're free and fair. So if there, any of these claims certainly should be looked into. But from the Trump legal team, we haven't had, good, solid evidence of widespread rorting. We've had, indeed, the agency that oversees the election saying it was the most secure in Australian history. So we'll see what else is presented. But as you say, there's nothing here we've seen so far, and we'll see what else shakes out, that would really go close to overturning, well, one state, let alone multiple states.
No, I mean, look, unless they pull a rabbit out of a hat, it really does not look as if, it's now over a week since the election, it does not look as if they have enough to overturn the election result. But it is important to pursue all these legal claims, every rabbit down every rabbit hole, because there is a large proportion of the American population that thinks that the election was stolen. And look, whether or not, whatever happens, and it looks like Joe Biden is going to be president come January 20, but this sort of feeling that the election was stolen would work well towards Donald Trump if he does want to run again in 2024. I mean, I can't see it happening, but there are a lot of people who say that if he can, paint Joe Biden as being an illegitimate president, just as the Democrats and Hillary Clinton painted Donald Trump as being an illegitimate president, the tit for tat goes on.
I want to play for you and our viewers what we heard from Donald Trump. He hasn't conceded. I'm not saying that. He's not even saying he's about to. But perhaps the first time he's indicated that's the way this might be headed in a general sense. Let's have a listen to the president speaking yesterday.
Ideally, we won't go to a lockdown. I will not go. This administration will not be going to a lockdown. Hopefully, the whatever happens in the future, who knows which administration it will be. I guess time will tell. But I can tell you this administration will not go to a lockdown. There won't be necessity. Lockdowns cost lives, and they cost a lot of problems.
Again, not trying to overplay this as the concession speech, Miranda, but given how forthright he's been on his language around it, it was notable that he's even countenancing that sort of prospect.
Well, look, I mean, he's realistic. Everyone has to be realistic and realise that it's a real long shot, the idea that you could overturn the election result. But look, as I've said before, it's 2020 and it is a very strange year. So while it's extremely unlikely, who knows? You just can't rule anything out at this stage.
Yeah, fair enough. Just finally and briefly, you mentioned Donald Trump and your personal scepticism that he might run again. Trump TV, is that the... I know it's been mooted for a long time. What would it look like? I mean, would it be 7 p.m.s with the Don, his own show, interviewing people? I mean, I can't imagine he'd want too many people to talk. So what happens there? How does it work, do you think?
Well, look, knowing Donald Trump, he would go big. I mean, he wouldn't just have one TV show. He'd want an entire network. And the fact that he's been really criticising in a very melodramatic fashion Fox News, even on the very morning of the election, he went on Fox and Friends and criticised quite lavishly Fox News and said the difference between 2016 and 2020 was that he didn't have Fox News on side. I mean, I think Fox News has played it straight, much more straight than any of the other cable channels or broadcasters. But, you know, that's not enough. And look, he's managed to turn a lot of his followers against Fox News. And I think, you know, when you look at it, he's probably plotting a post-politics career, and he's very good with the media, so why wouldn't he do that? There's a great deal of dissatisfaction among, you know, the 73 million. He's got those people locked in with mainstream media and also with big tech. So there was talk today that he would start his own sort of Twitter brand as well.